gentlemen, start your engines.
Hello everyone, this is Michael, and we are Iracing Season 4, Week 1. As promised, going to be covering a lot of different cars and tracks this season. This is one of the ones that I decided to pick up on actually in the silly week last week. Which is the Ferrari 488 GT3. I haven't even created a planetherring livery for this car on Trading Paints, which that's another shameless plug right there. If you are on iRacing and you're not using Trading Paints, you should absolutely download and install that. You'll get to see a much wider array of car paints and people's creativity. So here we are in the qualifying session. We are actually at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, also known as Motorsports. And again, there's not too many options here with the fixed setup Ferrari. So we're going to get right in it and see literally how bad we are. So starting with hopefully getting the clutch right. So I have driven, I'm just going to call it Motorsports. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Canadian Motorsports Park, Motorsport, same thing. It's just what I learned it as. Sorry. But if you haven't driven Motorsport, it is a really fun, not overtly technical, not overtly difficult track. Had a lot of fun here back in my R Factor days, particularly driving in the old Skoda mod for R Factor, which that car and that mod particularly probably is not the most accurate representation of driving, but it was a hell of a lot of fun, and always promised good racing. So in practice prior to this, I was able to do a high 117.
Green, green, green.
So we are going to see.
Here comes your first time lap.
So turn 1 and then ultimately turn 2 really are about just how ballsy you can be. The rest of the track is pretty much about just making sure you're in the right place. This is a blind hill, which you just have to trust, but then it goes into a really hard hairpin that is also blind and up and around. Different cars, it's scarier depending on how far up you are. This isn't too bad. And the last little complex can be tricky. Lots of time to be lost there. Be careful with this car. It seems to want to get a little loose like that. The key to this complex is not overcooking it like I did there.
One more lap. 1 minute 17.976.
That may be my problem right there. Probably should have set that. The other thing I've noticed about this car, especially in relation to my rig, is that I need to shift a little bit before I would normally do, because my on-wheel shift lights seem to not register it exactly right. Alright, so that seemed like it was a lot better.
There's a flag. It's over.
Okay, so with that, not too bad. I'm not sure what other people are going to start coming up with, but I actually went a couple of tenths quicker than my practice and qualified with a 17.7. So as usual, we are definitely slow. I can't do it. Sorry. Absolutely cannot get that little bit. I tried drafting and everything in practice, and that just was not happening. But at any rate, this time we're 10th. We're only about, they're exactly almost 1 to 1.2 seconds off the quick pace. This is obviously not as popular going into the main season here as it was on week 13 last week when we were getting 25, 30 people up, been bumped down to 11th. Yay. So we'll see how it goes. One thing I did notice in practice is a lot of people getting caught out spinning and just generally not being able to handle some of these hills. So going to try to keep my nose clean and see if we can't possibly make up a few spots, at least finish in the top 10. That would be really great. So again, just real quick and looking at some of our settings because we have, I think, maybe a little bit over a minute. So again, this is a fixed setup race. And so you've got basically nothing on the two tabs that you can set. Your brake bias and your LED night strips for identifying which way the car is going, apparently. But that's about it. There's nothing else you can set here. And that really is, okay, down to 12th, great. Honestly, my reason why I love fixed setup races, and I really want to do a series on the various fixed setup races and some of the things you can do to at least qualify well in some of them. A lot of them I have not driven, so we'll see how that goes. I might be selective with that. Might call it my favorite fixed setup series, but you don't have to deal with all of the different settings that you get, especially once you start getting into like oval stock cars and things like that. The setup for those is just so different when you start talking about high banked ovals, and who's really got time. I mean, it's either that or you're constantly out on the internet looking for setups or going into different practice sessions and asking people, and that's fine if you do that and you do it right, but really isn't as much as a deal on iRacing with that as I have seen in other leagues where people will show up 5 minutes before the race and go, hey, hand me a setup. Like, no, don't race. But here we go. So taking the grid, and it looks like we have a safety car, so that might be another good aspect of things to go here is we probably have a pace lap. So this is a 15-minute race at about a 1:16. So probably going to end up doing maybe 13 laps or so. But also don't have to worry about fuel. So
Green flag. Next time by. Line up on the left side. Pit road is closed.
yeah, so that's always fun. We'll do a nice parade lap here for everybody. And everything's set up. Let's see if I can make it a little bit easier for you guys to see, even though I don't really use the the in-car dash, but at least that way, in addition to my Z1 dashboard up in the corner there with the stats for what I'm doing, you can see that, and it really doesn't throw me off too much. Yeah, might throw me off a little bit, so I'll put it back. You can see what gear I'm in. I think that's probably one of the biggest things about doing these videos that I want to make sure that I do is a lot of times I watch these just to learn how someone drives a track, different people with different capabilities. Not so really so much about figuring out what your lap time is, but really just trying to see how you're driving the track. And it seems like so many people don't want to put any kind of real telemetry data up on the screen. So that's one thing I really wanted to do with this. So always new people coming into iRacing and always new things coming out. And I'm not the fastest person in the world, but I'm not the slowest. And
Get stop 11, shot.
all right, so that start was a little bit better. I got 2 people way back. All right, so I'd imagine this thing is going to start probably as we round up into the final complex. And really not anything to do here. This setup really is a pleasure to drive. There's not a lot to it. The car can be a little loose under certain braking conditions. But if it is squirrely under braking, like I said, the reason why I moved the
Get stop 11,
bias up.
This car has the new tire model. Are you running up the tires like that?
They spend too much time in the CCR.
You didn't hear? I don't know. I don't know if this car has the new tire model. I think it has the older. So you need to warm tires. Yeah. You almost crashed me, so I will crash.
All right, so we're getting ready to get this started. Everybody's still in the pace lap. And pace car will probably pull off right into the pits right before the final turn. So
Getting ready here, getting ready.
don't know that I want to get too racy through turns 1 and turns 2 because they are...
Pace car's leaving. Green flag, green flag.
And here we go. As usual, always got people that are flashing because of their bad internet connections. I want to end up spinning myself. There's already one person off. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Mainly don't want to drive up anybody's tailpipes just yet. Looks like somebody's totally flashed out of existence here. And let's see if we can survive lap 1 first and foremost. So take this easy. Never know when someone's going to
Go to the top.
bite it. Not sure how we're handling cautions in this race.
1 minute 29.265. Got a slow car on the right. Got a slow car on the left. Go to the top.
Lots and lots of traffic.
Jack off.
So definitely making up some spaces here due to attrition. Mainly just need to doesn't look like my lap indicator is working too well. 2 of 11, all right, that makes more sense than 2 of 810. All right, so 2 of 11.
1 minute 18.687.
We're on lap 3. Whoa.
Yep, nice move.
Wow, that was impressive.
Car stopped on the left. Got a slow car on the right. Go to the bottom.
Next time, avoid to warm up your tires.
Got a car on the left. Clear on the left.
All right, so it looks like we're getting a little racy with people here now. So watch out for some of these guys. I don't really think I trust them all that much.
Go to the top.
You people need to learn what safe re-entry is.
Left side. You're on the right. 3 wide. Left side. Still there. Left side. Still there. Clear. One minute 20.466. You're in 5th.
So, assuming all these guys have busted their cars bad enough. See, I don't like this guy one bit.
Got a car on the left. Stay right there. Clear on the left.
You're kind of an asshole, you know that? And there we have it. Don't trust these fuckers for a damn second, because they'll fucking knock you right off the damn track. Luckily, I don't think we got any damage, other than a little spin. We're about to find out. Unfortunately, that's put us way, way back, I'm sure. Hopefully dipshit will end up wrecking.
One minute 30.743.
Car seems to be handling pretty well. Not quite to the halfway point. I believe we are actually in 8th place. think Sir, whoever that is now in 5th. That would be the guy that hit us. Alright, well, wouldn't be the first time.
1 minute 17.301.
Would not be the first time for certain.
Car stopped ahead. Go left.
No surprise there.
What the hell's the deal, man?
Well, with a little bit of luck, yeah, he asked me what's my deal. He knocks me off the track, but oh, with no apologies or nothing, and he asked me what my deal is. Amazing! Well, my deal is...
1 minute 18.063.
My deal is I like it when the universe solves my problems for me. Hopefully he botched his car up just enough that he won't be able to catch me for the next 5 laps. But I doubt that because it looks like he's gaining. Which means he'd be a vindictive shit next time he passes me. Oh well. Might be enough. Might be enough of a gap that I can finish without having to worry about him again. I mean, I got like 3 seconds back to Wagner.
1 minute 17.677.
But Wagner seems to be catching up really fast, so must have been one of those guys that wrecked out at the beginning and just knows how to drive the track better than I do. Yeah, good lord, he's catching up left and right. Which means Wagner actually is catching up a lot faster than whoever Sayre is. Severell? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put up much of a defense against this guy.
One minute 17.638. Left side. Stay on the right. Clear.
Better to let him go. He was obviously faster, and I did really not want to fight him for that. Chances are it would have only ended up with me getting hit.
Minute 17.876.
It does mean Cervelli is now 3.5 seconds behind me. Boy, he really does know how to use the whole track, does he not? So we are on lap 10 of 12. We are in 8th place, which is a 4-spot improvement, largely due to attrition. And we have a 2.5 second lead over 9th.
Minute 17.416.
I've never been one to be able to take that particular blind curve super fast. There's some cars where I have been able to actually figure it out pretty much. So far we are in fact, well, it looks like Cervelli probably went off the track again, where we've now doubled our lead. So looks like we're coming up to the beginning of the final lap here.
White flag, one more lap to go.
All right.
1 minute 17.656. Car stops on the right. Go to the top.
So don't know if that was someone ahead or behind. But I'm certain they're going to be keen to pass if they get a bit of a tow up this hill. But it looks like there's the line.
That's the checkered flag.
All right. Well, that was a
Great job, driver.
very successful race, considering. If Mr. Cervelli wants to make any further comments, oh well, we try not to engage in that kind of thing too much. But I will have to say that really turned out well. I do really enjoy this track. It is easily one of my favorite tracks. Y'all still haven't caught me. I think he's trying to catch me. Not sure what he was going for there. But you missed, buddy. Anyway, I'm sure he probably just wanted to smack
The race
into
is
me.
over.
So anyway, so let's go back and look at that particular incident, shall we? I believe that was maybe lap 4 or 5. So let's see, where were we at? Let's do a chase view. Far chase is good. And let's see, where were we? There's lap 4. And maybe we should go to rear chase because I do not see anybody. So there's lap 3. There's lap 4. Yep, so Sunny Cervelli? Yep, that's him, all right. Yep, so there you go. That's a perfect example right there. Watch it from the rear view. Nope, that's not it. Wrong way. So far chase view, this is a perfect example. So I am literally over in the middle of the track. The guy had plenty of room. Absolutely no need to do this at all. In fact, let's do this. Let's switch to his view. And let's look in the cockpit, shall we? So here we are in the cockpit. Unfortunately, the problem is I don't do show arms and steering wheels, so oh well. And we don't have any kind of way to do this, but we're coming in. So here I am. He's right behind me. Yeah, so you see what he was doing there. I mean that was perfectly obvious. So what he was doing was he was trying to take and make his line for the hill. And it pretty much was just a case of the fact that I was there be damned. So, you know, it happens. We were side by side effectively. You know, so whatever. You know, I came back, ended up in front of him, mainly because, you know, he probably was pushing too hard. If you look at his laps, you know, he was doing 116s. Obviously, he was faster than I was. You know, it was bound to happen. That's pretty much what happens with guys a lot of times. And unfortunately, that is the way it is. So, at any rate, I you know, if you look back at my times here, 117s, pretty well consistent for the most part, and unless I got caught up in traffic or slowed down for somebody. Yeah, I could easily take off another second or two with probably just a really good bit of analysis. Who actually won the race? So Marcos Rafael actually won, and his laps were mostly in the 116s as well. So comes back really to just how much analysis do I want to do, or is it just about having fun with these series and, you know, how serious do I want to be? So with that, there's the end card. So if if you're interested in following my channel, Planet Herring, for season 4 of 2019, please like and subscribe. I hope to really put out a lot of videos over the course of the next 3.5, 4 months going through the series. I'm going to definitely be doing 4 or 5 series every week for certain. Might not do a practice or a tutorial for everyone, but some of them I definitely will go through and do laps and call out and try to help people with some insight into some tracks, especially some of the weirder ones that maybe I do a little bit better than others. But with that, I'm going to call it the end of this, and thanks for watching.